Welcome to InfoGamer. My name's Nathan.
My name's Mark.
And today we will be going over another obstacle for our game, and this obstacle is the black hole. So in Doodle Jump they have a little tear in the page or the background that your character can fall into and then you lose the game. So we'll show you how to draw those right now. Alright, we're now back at my computer and we are ready to rock and roll. We're going to create the black hole for our Doodle Jump game. The black hole is just one of the many obstacles that you will encounter while playing Doodle Jump. It's a very clever idea on the part of Lima Skies because the black hole, it looks like just a hole in the piece of paper in the background that somebody's ripped out. And your Doodle Jump character, if you pass over the area of the black hole, will be sucked in. It'll like fall off the page really, and you'll lose the game. And so this just is part of gaming. Every game has some obstacle that you need to overcome or avoid, and it makes the game more interesting and a little more difficult to play, which is always good to have a challenge in your game. And so here in Photoshop we have our background opened. You can see we created this in a previous video. If you have missed the creation of this, you can always go back and watch that video. And then we also have our sprite sheet opened and all these assets we've created in previous videos. And so what we will do is we will create a new file. We'll use the background as reference, and then when we're finished with our black hole, we'll add it to our sprite sheet. So I've opened these files previously. And so now we'll go to File, New, and we'll select US paper size is fine. We'll hit OK. Now we'll create a new layer, and we'll delete the background layer so that we can have transparency. Now we'll need to select our brush tool, which is B on your keyboard for a hotkey, and then or over here on your tool panel, this brush, and we'll get a good size right about there. And then you'll want to start with a black, and we're going to start by drawing the actual hole. And so the hole will be just a big gaping circle with jagged edges, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna roughly sketch it in, and I need to turn up my opacity on my paintbrush to 100%. Okay, now we are ready. So I'm gonna just draw, go around kind of in a squarish circle, and now we will color it in. So I'm gonna select it with the wand tool, select my brush, get a bigger brush, and then color it in, deselect it, and I'll color in what the magic wand missed. Now that we have the black abyss of our hole painted, we are going to next paint the ripped portion of the paper which goes around the hole, and this is to look like the paper has been folded over on itself. So once we put it into our game, you'll kind of see the illusion that this image will give to our paper or our background. So we'll go to our background file, and we want to select the same color that we used for the yellow or the off-white. And now with the layer that we created, we want to make sure that it's behind the hole, the black hole. And so we'll just start by drawing some jagged lines around the black hole. And it's good to have variation. Some parts you want to have bigger or more paper, and then less paper, and then more paper, and so on. And we'll just make sure it's all colored in. And if you want to make it a little more jagged, you can select your lasso tool and go around making short jagged edges, and then you can delete what you have selected. So I'm just going around real quick making these jagged edges. And then you want to go around, so you select the outside of it. And we'll hit delete. I'll do that one more time for this section that I missed. Like that. Hit delete. Okay. You know, it's not perfect, but it'll do. And so now what we'll want to do is we will want to create a new layer, and this layer will go even farther behind this layer that we've just drawn. And we want to create the shadow that goes around it. And so we'll use the same color, but we'll darken it right about there. And then we'll turn our opacity down to about 50%. And we'll make our brush a little bigger. And then we'll just do another line or layer around this same one that we've done. And we'll do it twice. We'll go around twice just to make it so that there's a gradient with the shadow, that it starts lighter and it gets darker as it goes in. Okay, now what we want to do is we'll go back to the layer in which our paper is painted. I'll select that, then we'll use our wand tool to select the paper itself. So you can see now the paper is selected, and we'll use that same color to go around the edge of the black hole, making the paper look like it's shaded in around the black hole, or curving in out of the black hole. Just like that. Okay. And finally what we will do, we'll deselect that. Now we'll go back to our background layer and we'll get the blue color of our horizontal lines. And we will add in lines on our black hole. And for this part, I will zoom in on our picture and select a fine brush, and then we'll just, as best we can, try to make these horizontal lines on the paper portion of our drawing. So now that we have the blue lines added in as a final little touch or a detail to our picture, we are finished with this asset. And so we will make sure that we save the original Photoshop file, and then we will also want to copy this image over to our sprite sheet and then resave our sprite sheet in our game project folder. And so we will do that now. So we'll merge down the layers, and this is after you've saved it so that you can keep the layers separate. Want to select all, copy, go to your sprite sheet, and paste. Then you'll resize it and position it in the right spot on your sprite sheet. And finally, you'll want to save it as a PNG, overwriting your old sprite sheet.
Welcome back. Thanks for watching this video. This black hole is not only a game object that the character can run into, but it also goes on the main screen.
And we'll put it right here
so you can see what we ended up with. Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe and follow along so you can get all our current videos. Have a good night.